What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody back again with another video, and this is part 2 of the commentary style videos that you're going to get today. Now, as I mentioned, if you watched my first stream where I did a recap of the daily wrap, I did talk about a specific segment in the podcast that I wanted to address. DSP did speak about it again on the daily wrap because, of course, he has to repeat himself over and over again, and he had a bit of a segment of it here. So I thought that it would warrant a second video because I got a lot to say on this. As you know, Doody's been a content creator for over 5 years. I've had multiple channels. I've helped multiple people with channels, especially with monetization. So I've managed to pick up a good amount of information when it comes to monetizing your content and what's allowed, what isn't allowed on YouTube. And Phil, I think, is doing something where it may be a big no-no. And this isn't the first time he delved into this. He tried this a few months ago where he decided to leave up his live streams, monetize them, and then do his clips, post his clips from his podcast, his 3 hours of gameplay, and then post them monetized as well. And I think I mentioned that when he tried doing that a couple months ago, I said, well, you may not want to do that, Phil, because you're going to run into problems, mainly when it comes to YouTube's Adsense. Now, you say, well, why would he run into problems with that? Well, YouTube has an issue with monetizing what they call reuse content. That's essentially where you're trying to double dip with the same content. So if and I'll give you an example. So if you have a live stream that's up, right? You did a live stream. I'll give you an example. Let's say that I went and I did a live stream and I left my live stream up, right? Then I decided that I was going to take clips from that podcast, post those clips, and then monetize those videos as well. YouTube may see that as reuse content. And that's what Phil tried to do a few months ago, where he wanted to leave his live stream up, whatever. He, I guess, saw the errors of his ways, was worried that detractors or whoever would report him, so he decided to kill that idea. So he's still privating or deleting his live streams, and then clipping the content and then posting it and monetize it, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. I guess Phil decided a new gimmick or a new scam to try to scam YouTube's AdSense is he'll continue posting the live stream, right? But then he'll take his content and then pay an editor to clip out segments of it and I guess add transitions, add something, make it slightly transformative, and then repost that. Now, that may be a problem as well for DSP, being that he's still reusing content. Now, let's hear him talk about it. We'll take a look at his channel, and then I'll provide a little bit of, I'll give my thoughts on it. So, let's get into it.
In the daily wrap. First off, today on the Level 1 podcast, I talked in detail about the fact that I currently am starting to do highlighted videos on the channel. And what I mean by that, if you haven't noticed it yet, in the last week to maybe week and a half, there's been different videos popping up on the channel that are highlights and summaries of some things that I've done. The first video was when I quit Street Fighter 6 because I was so frustrated with it, making fun of myself and my crash outs and my rage quit and you know, the fun there, because the truth, I did. I'm kind of fed up with the game. I don't really want to play it anymore. So it's a truthful statement to say that I did crash out and rage quit, okay? That video did well. Over 3,500 views. I think up to now it's like 3,800 views or something like that. So it did pretty good. That's not amazing or anything, but it's decent. And then over the last week, on the end of each time that I played a new game, including both Mouse PI for Howard and Pragmata, Mouse PI for Hire and Pragmata, I did another one of these videos that basically was like a 20-30 minute summary of the stuff that happened in that premiere stream. And then notably, the one that's actually doing some pretty good numbers right now is a video about the Quartering versus Kino Casino feud that's currently going on the internet. This video I put out on my day off, and in 24 hours has had 5,500 and plus views, hundreds of likes, hundreds of comments, okay? I'm paying someone to make these for me. I don't have the time. I don't have the skill. I can't do this by myself. Could I do it? If I cloned myself, yes, I could make videos like these. I just don't have time with the amount of content that I put out. So I'm paying someone to do it in the hopes that eventually these videos will get some views, get some attention on the channel, and will actually do well to bring in new viewership. So we're going to see what happens in regards to this style of content and go from there. Hopefully, it will attract people who normally would not check out my channel. Hopefully, some of these videos might hit the YouTube algorithm so that people will check them out and know that DSP is making this kind of content. money-wise, they're not going to pay off right now. To give you some perspective, the first video was the Street Fighter video. It made me $10. Guess what? I pay way more to make each video than $10. For the record, the editor wants way more than $10, okay? So, yeah, I am going to do this, hopefully in the hopes that this will work. Let's see how it goes. I'm probably not going to do it all the time. Notably this week, I don't even know if I'm going to do one. Maybe if something happens notable on a stream, or maybe there's a topic I talk about on a morning show, I'll break it out, or maybe not. All right, we'll see how things go. One thing that someone brought up is maybe you could actually do a review, like you beat a major game, right? And you do a mini review. You could talk about the game, but then have this person edit in and superimpose clips of the game and stuff over it. That's true. So we'll see moving forward how it works, but I hope that you'll check them out. All these videos I'm adding to my highlights. It's the DSP streaming highlights playlist that I have. That's where you can find them all right on the main channel page, okay? For a full explanation, check out today's podcast. It was a big segment.
Okay, we don't need to check that out. You can watch my clip of it or just watch this video. So, okay, let's take a look. All right, so, well, first of all, I want to mention that Phil, I'm going to give Phil a round of applause. That's right, for thinking, for doing something. For doing something. Now, sadly, like DSP, he doesn't think it through and actually, you know, goes through with it. Now, first of all, I think he'll do this eventually, but he'll end up quitting it. I don't think this is something long-term for it because he's not getting this for free. If someone like, say, Darziak was editing these videos for free, he would keep doing it. But the problem is he's paying someone. And my guess, he's probably paying about 25 to 30 bucks per video, you know, have each one edited, and it might depend on how long it is. So he's paying more than what he would get out of it. Now, he did mention that the first video that he had edited, he paid more than $10 for it. I'm guessing probably about 25. And he made about, I don't know, I think he said about 10 bucks in ad revenue, which, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? That's fine. So good on him for doing something. Now, the problem here lies is the way he's doing it. You guys know for years I've been telling DSP, why do you just take your raw clips, your 1 hour of clips from your podcast, and just repost them without editing them or doing anything different? Like, I've told him, why don't you actually take those videos and cut them up? You can do 15-minute segments, put in the most interesting thing, and just post those videos. You know, I guarantee you that a 15 or 20-minute video that DSP does of his highlights would probably get more views than an hour-long unedited video. Honestly, but that's too much work for DSP. So he decided what he wanted to do was, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to cut up my content, right? I'm going to record segments. So 1 hour segments of his gameplay. So he's going to post his podcast. And then 3 hours of gameplay, and then on the night stream do the same thing. Except on the night stream he just posts 2 hours of gameplay, and then he fully monetized those videos. Now what he ends up doing is he privatized or deletes his podcast, so it's not considered reused content. Although he's still double dipping, because he initially got the monetization and the ad revenue for the stream when it was live, then he privated or deleted it, and then clipped that content up, reposted it, and monetized that. Now, being that the podcast isn't getting any more monetization, I think he's okay there, but he's still skirting the TOS there, especially when it comes to AdSense. The problem here is that what he's doing is he's taking his videos, he's taking his podcast, still cutting it up, or stream, cutting it up, posting it, right? And then what he's doing is he's getting an editor to take a segment from said podcast or gameplay and then edit it and repost it, right? The issue lies is that he is monetizing the content twice. So he's still doing his raw unedited clips of an hour long, posting those, and then he's reposting the clip even though it's slightly edited. Now, I did look at some of the videos, and it's slightly edited. Phil might argue, well, it's transformative. Yeah, but the issue with transformative is that you, Phil, it depends on how much of your video is your content or repurposed content. And from what I gather, all of this, I mean, I would say like 90% of the video that you were clipping, like this segment, this quartering versus the Kino Casino feud is crazy. 90% of it was you your content from your podcast. And that had nothing different. Just because you added a zoom or added some additional clips really doesn't make it that transformative. Now, I think it's fine that you're doing this. The issue comes that you're trying to monetize both your clip that you're taking from the podcast, your raw unedited clip, and you're trying to monetize this edited video. So, I mean, I think it's okay to do it occasionally. The problem is that if you do it more often than not, if you do it, several times a week, you might run into an issue with your AdSense where, you either get reported or YouTube flags you. Now, YouTube's algorithm or their system has their system is really good for flagging reused content. And I'll explain. I had a situation where I had another channel. Not too many people know about it. It was a channel I was trying to build up. And the issue came where I got that channel monetized, but I was reusing the same content I was using on my Doody Streams content. It was Locale Live. It was a Locale, no, excuse me, it was called Locale TV. That was the name of the channel that I had. The problem was that I was reusing content, and it wasn't, it was reused content where I was posting the content on my Doody Streams channel, and then I was posting it on the Locale TV channel. Now that caused an issue where my channel ended up getting the Locale TV channel got demonetized because I was reusing content, which is fine. I mean, that's fine. It happened. I thought it was transformative enough where it really wouldn't be an issue. I had an overlay. I had different stuff, but no, YouTube saw that and said, "Nah, brother, you're reusing these clips twice, even though they're on different channels. You're still reusing them twice." So my Locale TV channel ended up getting demonetized, which is fine. That might happen here with you, Phil, where if you decide that you want to do these clips and you're finding them that they're, bringing in views or whatever, and you want to do more of them, you might run into an issue where you might get demonetized because of reused content. And YouTube in the last year or so has made a concerted effort to crack down on people monetizing reused content, especially streamers. The only real way you can kind of get around that is if you're taking your content and posting it as a short. But even that, you still need to tell YouTube when you're uploading the video whether it's a repurposed clip from other content. You need to tell YouTube that. There's actually a section that asks you, did you kind of reuse this? Was this part of a video you uploaded? That way they know whether you're repurposing it for a short. And in that instance, that's fine. I think you're okay there. There isn't an issue with reused content. That's pretty much the only way to kind of do this on YouTube. Again, I know some people might say, "Oh, I'm trying to dog whistle to report the." No, don't do that. Don't leave DSP alone. It's not a big deal. Even if you report them, it's probably not going to get reviewed anyway, or it's not. No one's going to care. This, if it gets captured, will get captured by YouTube's system, their automated system, that will see that he's repurposing content or reusing content and monetizing both. Now, if Phil wants to do this, I think what he should do is, he has a couple options. One, he can continue posting his raw clips and then doing these highlight videos, right? But if he decides to do that, he needs to decide which one he wants to monetize. So if he's going to monetize the edited clip, he needs to unmonetize the raw clips from his streams for that day. Wherever that video was taken from, he needs to make sure that he unmonetizes that video. Because at least there, he can't be flagged for trying to monetize reused content. You know what I mean? If you have it in one place and you're not monetizing it, and then you have it in another place and you're monetizing it, that's perfectly fine. YouTube doesn't see that as you reusing content, right? Or trying to get paid for reused content. You can also stop uploading the clips. So the 1 hour unedited clips, and just do highlights, as I recommended years ago, where instead of posting, 6 or 7 videos that are an hour long every fucking day, you can post 5 or 6 videos that might be 15 minutes long. It would make the most sense, and then monetize those. Again, Phil, no one's giving you an hour of their time to watch a video. of a gameplay, of of one segment of a gameplay. That's not happening. That's why those views are at 200-300 views. If you really want to get some viewership and make some money, I would recommend you do the edited content and you trim it down to 15 minutes. And here's an example. Right here, he made 6,000 views from this video right here where he edited and he had the segment where he talked about the quartering Keno, whatchamacallit. If you go to that podcast, right, or if you go to that video with the shorts, right, of Keno Casino, let's go here. Let's see, let's try to find that. Let's try to find that. That was last week, wasn't it? Let's see here. I gotta find. It didn't get much. It got maybe a couple hundred views. That podcast got a couple hundred views. Playlist. Let's see here. Level 1 podcast. I know you got the Level 1 podcast somewhere around here, Phil. I know he didn't get that many views. He didn't get that many views for it. Anyway, I don't think he got that many views of it. All right, but what I'm saying is that he's monetizing both. You know what I mean? He's monetizing both. I think you're gonna run into an issue there, Phil. I really do. I think you might run into a problem with Adsense. And if you ask me, I would recommend you do edited videos. So your 15-minute, your 7 videos that you post every day, I would recommend you take those 7 videos, edit them down to something more reasonable, like 15-20 minutes. Highlight the best parts and just post those. That would be the best thing to do. Or, don't monetize those raw clips. Again, brother, I mean, I know you think you're untouchable and you think that you can just go ahead and do whatever you want. YouTube won't bug you. But you got to remember, man, the last year or so, YouTube's been cracking down on AI shit. They've been cracking down on reused content. They're not playing, and they don't give a shit who you are. I would recommend you go to YouTube, you go to Twitter, go to X, and just type in Team YouTube as a search. And all you see is just tons of fucking content creators talking about how they got demonetized because of reused content or AI. So, again, I'm not telling anyone to do anything. This isn't a call to action. I'm just, wanted to highlight this video. I did want to tell you that Doody was right. I offered this advice to him years ago and he failed to do it. But I guess maybe some dent told him, hey, this would be a good idea. You should do it. But again, like with everything DSP does, he does it half-ass or he does it in a way that can get him in trouble. And this is another thing where he's half-assing it and it may get him in trouble. So, anyway, and don't worry, if I know there's going to be people in my comment section. Why are you saying anything? Why are you, he watches your content. Why are you? He's not going to do anything. He thinks it's a trick where I'm trying to get him to not do clips. And again, I know he's trying to take down the Clippers and the Detractors, trying to one up us with doing his own, clips, but it's not going to work out, Phil. It's just like everything you do. You get that initial watch because people want to see what you did, but as soon as you do it and you do it several times, no one gives a shit. It's just like it's like a merch store. It's like it's like the thing where you e-beg like an e-girl where you tell people to buy you shit. No one buys you shit anymore. It'll be the same thing. And I think him paying $25 or $30, whatever it is per video, that right there alone will make him think twice of doing this, especially if he's not making any money. And we all know that, if Phil doesn't make money right away, he just quits it. He's going to wage quit this. So, don't worry, folks. In a month, probably, I'll be doing a video where DSP decide to wage quit clips. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I wanted to put my thoughts out there because, again, DSP seems to be breaking terms of service yet again. I mean, not terms of service. I mean, I think you could do that. You can reuse content all you want, but the issue comes when you're trying to monetize it. That's where the problem lies. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.